Good evening, everybody. Happy President's. Well, not our president's happy, but happy President's Day. This is Hunter
Is he
here,
ever
and I'm here
happy,
with,
do you think?
dude. I don't want to get
Yeah,
political,
let's not.
but
Well, we
God,
want to do
but
it. I'm
but
sorry. I'm
but
sorry.
but 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 Trump is dumb, and at this point, God, who? I think The Rock would be a great president. He just rock bottom everybody.
The
I'd feel
Rock would
content with.
be an incredible president.
Yeah, he's charismatic. He can actually speak on the microphone, which has been proven by wrestling, by the way. But just Trump's the worst. But this is sorry. This is Hunter here, and I'm here with Scott. Scott, how you doing, my friend?
So good. Love Podden.
So we are here to talk about uh, the best DC movie they've put out since The Dark Knight Rises, which there's honestly no sarcasm in that, even though I'm laughing. We're talking about the Lego Batman movie. So I'm just gonna jump in here, Scott.
Please do.
If you, um, I think we've all talked some shit about DC in the sense that they just seem to be directionless. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just kind of out there, and so the Lego movie was such a fucking surprise to everybody. I remember we all talked about it. I don't think we officially reviewed it, but we all genuinely loved the movie because it was just so random, and it worked way better than it had any right to. And one of the best things about that was Lego Batman, voiced by Will Arnett, of course, of Arrested Development and Hot Rod fame. He's probably my favorite part of Hot Rod. Babe, wait, babe. I fucking love Will Arnett, but he voices Batman in here, and I just gotta say, Scott, to spoil my review here, I genuinely enjoyed this movie.
I really like this movie. I agree with you. There are it's so fun, and it doesn't mind taking shots at itself, which is I feel like DC's been afraid to do in regular movies. Marvel's got Deadpool, and he makes fun of himself and just kind of superheroes in general, but I feel like DC can't really take a joke, and this is a step forward in the right direction of trying to kind of, I don't know, acknowledge themselves, I guess you could say. And come on, Will Arnett, it's he should be the next Batman once Ben Affleck bows out. Give it to Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Let him rip some iron, play some Batman, a little Bruce Wayne.
There you go.
Come on. No, he killed it.
Yeah, so I mean, the plot of this movie is pretty simple. So basically, Batman is just going throughout the city. So I'm gonna say, Scott, before I kind of keep going here, I'm a huge Batman fan. I've loved the character since I was a kid. I unfortunately think this was a recording we lost, but we'll have to redo it. Batman the Animated Series is genuinely one of my favorite shows of all time. I think the show is brilliant. It went on for a number of seasons. That introduced us to Kevin Conroy's Batman, who of course voiced him in the Arkham games, and Mark Hamill's Joker. I think the show was absolutely brilliant, and this should have been called, instead of Lego Batman, should have been, or the Lego Batman movie should have been called the DC roast of Batman, because honest to God, they took so many shots at the series in general that, and it's all stuff that I myself have, and my fellow nerd friends have definitely made fun of. I was laughing so hard. I was like, "Oh my God, this is working so freaking well."
That is,
And
I would agree. That's definitely one of the best parts of this movie is just their ability to make fun of themselves. Just they have Alfred at one point, who is played by, I have it right here, Ralph Fiennes. Look at
Ralph Fiennes.
Fiennes. I was looking through the cast list, by the way, and there's some stars in this movie.
It's stacked. Yeah.
Rosario Dawson, Mariah Carey, Conan O'Brien is in this movie. You've got Chris Hardwick makes an appearance. Doug Benson is in this as Bane. which is awesome. Seth
Yes.
Green, Eddie Izzard plays Lord Voldemort, and Adam Devine, of course, is amazing. And I think my favorite character was Robin, played by Michael Cera. Um, he was probably, I would say, the funniest character outside of Batman. But
I I actually agree with you on that. I, I don't know. I think for me, um, Zach Galifianakis as the Joker, I thought he was fucking brilliant in this movie. I genuinely couldn't believe um, how freaking funny this movie was, and it's funny all the way through. It's one of those movies like Scott Pilgrim, that Michael Cera of course starred in, that I feel like I'm gonna have to watch again to catch all the references. 'Cause
yeah,
how,
it's like so witty that it's just like bam, 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 just one after another. I would argue it could like it's almost over the top, but it's like it's most of the time it's always most of the time it's always funny. Um, I mean I don't know. I would argue that at certain points there's too much going on, but I would agree. I need to see this again because I didn't catch everything first time around.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, so let's kind of get to the plot here. So, I mean, it's the most simple, like, Batman from the 60s plot ever. So, basically, Batman is out kicking ass, and he basically arrests all of his main villains in Arkham Asylum, and the Joker pretty much says, "Okay, I'm done. Like, send me to the Phantom Zone, which is where, of course, Superman sent General Zod." And Joker leads a revolt against all of the villains in the Phantom Zone to go ahead and bring down Gotham City. It's up to Batman and his Bat family to bring it down. That's essentially the plot. I
And
mean,
Joker's just like super butthurt because Batman just doesn't give a shit about him, which is kind of funny because he just like shits on everybody, including Superman, which I thought was hilarious. But
well,
yeah, it's Joker's feelings are hurt, and he's like, whatever, send me to the Phantom Zone, see if I care.
well, the funniest thing is that I just found myself laughing because I mean, you can say this for some villains and superhero relationships, but there is no relationship where it's more clear that they're gay for each other than Batman and the Joker. And like you go back and you watch it, like Joker does everything to get Batman to just like hurt him and get close to him, and it's really funny that the movie plays off that. I think the line that just had me rolling is when uh, Batman says basically, I fight other people. I don't fight just one person. And you see the Joker get the saddest face, and I was hyperventilating. I was laughing so hard. He like starts crying, and just seeing a Lego cry in itself is really fucking funny. But
I'm curious,
uh,
what's your reaction to? I mean, you saw the first one, but how do you like the animation in this? Because they're clearly using real Legos, but there's like also CG going on. But I
yeah,
personally I love the way that like they were able to incorporate Legos into everything, even like fire and light and stuff like that.
no, I thought the animation on this was absolutely amazing, and it looks it's like 2D with kind of like a 3D backdrop
Right.
almost, and it looks so cool the way they do it, and the opening song, what I think it's called "I'm Batman," which was just amazing. It's just Batman beating the shit out of every
Yeah,
villain
that was a great
in
opening.
Gotham. And yeah, it was wonderful. And by the way, for those of us who are huge Batman nerds. The fact that the movie starts off with him just making fun of the Dark Knight trilogy, where he's like, "Black. Every movie that's important starts off with black." I was like, ha, ha,
Right,
ha.
and then
Like,
at the end it turns to white and it's like all great movies turn to white at the end.
yeah, I mean, and the Joker is talking to like this pilot about his plans, and the pilot goes, uh, the guard goes, "What about the two boats?" Like clearly referencing Dark Knight Rises. I thought this movie, it's so goddamn funny. And like I said, we're not gonna hit every reference because there's so many of them. But I think the other one that just had me rolling is when I think it's Commissioner, the new commissioner,
Commissioner
voiced by
Gordon.
Yeah, voiced by Rosario Dawson, who I just. That woman's wonderful. Yeah, she's getting DC and she's getting Marvel money.
She
Like, how
is
crazy is
all
that?
over the place.
Yeah, I mean, wait, did you say all over my face? That's
Yeah.
like totally
Hmm.
what she was. Yeah, yeah. Okay, good, perfect. All right, I just want to make sure we're on the same
That was
page.
a
But
question.
okay, yes, she
Okay,
is.
all right.
But Rosario, but Rosario Dawson though, she really is like has some damn good comedic timing. If you saw Clerks 2, you clearly know that. She's just very charming, but it was funny to see Batman just be really quite a dick to her at points. And that is part of the weird charm of this movie is Batman is just an asshole, but uh, they showed the scene in the trailer, but when Alfred comes up to him, he's like, "Sir," and Batman like spin back kicks him into the piano, and and so he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And you're like, "Oh, Batman's apologizing," and then he immediately goes, "I have amazing reflexes." I'm like, "Oh, you made it about you, perfect." That sounds like Batman. It was so good though. I was laughing so hard at everything, and you're right. I think Michael Cera. Zach Galifianakis is really close for me, but I thought Michael Cera was just, come on, Batman, let's get going. Like he was just, like he, like Michael Cera's great. I mean,
That's the Robin that you want to make fun of. You know what I mean? Like he's
absolutely.
got the tights. Like he's just S and Batman's D just always, and they pounce on that. It's the best.
No, it genuinely was just fucking hilarious, and yeah, so there's that point where it's like the Robin costume is an alternate costume that Batman came up with, and he rips the Rastafarian pants, and so it's just shorts, and I was holding my chest. I was like, God damn it, this is fucking funny.
I was the only one in the theater, and I was like busting up, just like by myself in the middle of this big theater. It was the best. It was the night the night before Valentine's Day, and people were like on dates and shit. And then I walked in, and I was like, well, look, like it's just me and myself, and I was just laughing the entire time.
See, that's what's so great about this though, and the, this felt very much like a palate cleanser. This felt like DC's Deadpool, and just like with Fox, I don't feel like there was any part of this that was earnest in the sense that if the DC movies were doing great right now, I don't think like critically at least, I don't
Hmm.
think they would have made this
Hmm.
because this felt like the kind of the palate cleanser that Batman needed because.
So were you?
I,
Does that mean you weren't like fully buying it?
no, it's because like I went in this thinking this is going to be great for me because I've just been so but between Man of Steel like the last third pardon me of Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, I've been just really just disappointed with what DC's been putting out. Granted, Justice League Dark came out a couple weeks ago, and I'll have a review up for this weekend. Spoiler: it's really fucking good, but DC has just been fucking up with their movies recently. So I I went in this kind of going, all right, if it's at least good, I'll be happy.
It's hard to not. I'll agree. Like it's hard not to do that with something with the DC title on it. Do you know what I mean? It's hard not to like
Yeah,
walk into something where you're like, okay, DC's involved. Let's get ready. You know what I mean? Like don't know what you're gonna get.
yeah. So I just it was irritating in that sense, but this clearly the writers of this, and I have their Seth Graham-Smith and then Chris McKenna were the main screenwriters. They clearly have read Batman a lot because you could not make these references and not
They must have
be
done a shit ton of research.
they did. When they're going down the list, just to show how nerdy I am, talking about Calendar Man and Condiment Man. Condiment Man is a reference to the animated series, and the funniest thing about that is, I'm trying to remember exact. He says like Condiment Man says something like, "Let's see if you can catch up with me. Let's see when it comes to being like a detective, if you can cut the mustard." And Batman just punches him in the stomach as hard as he can and just arrests him. And it's so goddamn funny because Batman just snaps. He went, "God damn it, I'm so sick of you." and just punches them as hard as he can. And I remember even as a kid, when I loved puns even more than I do now, which is saying something, I laughed my ass off because this the whole episode is this guy just fucking with Batman getting agitated. So I see me cut the mustard
They
got so
they
bad.
also throw in like this Jerry Maguire
Yes,
like
yes they
scene into
do.
it like throughout the movie, and it's amazing. They just keep referencing it. There's so many in there. Like it really is hard to talk about because there's so many, and I need to go back and watch it just to catch half of them. But oh man, and even like the music was pretty good that went along with it, and I don't know, it was just well put together. It was like well thought out.
Yeah, it really was, and even like I said, the whole thing of the opening song of I'm Batman, and it's just him kicking the shit out of all the DC villains. It's great. It's a really great fucking movie, and I just found myself just laughing so hard at so many references, and and just another one last reference before we get to our final thoughts. When he asks the Bat computer goes, "What's your password?" and he goes, "Iron Man sucks." I laughed really fucking hard at that. I was like, "All right, well done. I'll give you that." So, but yeah, this movie was just it was funny. The CG was really great. Um, Even though I think the movie went a little long, I think it was about maybe 10, 15 minutes longer than it needed to be. I would still give this a solid A myself. I really enjoyed this. Uh, if it's gonna be on my best stuff, it might be on the lower end, maybe depending on what else comes out. But because we have Thor, Guardians, and Spider-Man, so that could be 3 out of the 10 right there. But uh, this was amazing, though. I was really impressed with this. This is as good for me as a Lego movie. I'll need to watch it again, and I honestly might even end up giving it even a higher score after seeing it twice. But I was really high the first time I saw it, but I really enjoyed this. So yeah, solid A for me. Scott, what you got?
Yeah, totally agree. They concentrated even on the small things, like the fact that they are Lego characters and like their world is controlled by where they can go and what they can do based on Legos, and they kind of like make fun of that at the same time. So it's a really brilliant movie the way that they put it together. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I would give this a solid A. This was probably, I mean, I can't really quite say that yet, but so far this is probably the funniest movie I've seen this year. Um, it just the way that they were able to cram all the references and all the jokes, and it just went by so smoothly. And I would agree with you. I probably went a little long, which is probably not gonna why I'm not gonna get it my highest grade, and not every joke
Yeah.
landed, but the way that they're able to just annihilate every single character that DC's ever done, or even Marvel. It's I love how brutal it is, and that's probably my favorite part. Is just the way that they just don't care. But yeah, solid A for me.
So hey, that's fair, man. I think that's a hell of a grade. So, guys, have you seen the Lego Batman movie? Let us know if he has. Let us know in the comments below. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Mr. Colin O'Neill on Twitter at The Real O'Neill. You can follow Mr. Scott Neerman here on Twitter at.
Name the first.
And you can follow us here on SoundCloud at The Real Pineapple 775 and like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. Guys, thank you so much. We'll have reviews up this weekend for Justice League Dark. And there might be another surprise, but we will definitely have Justice League Dark up for you guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.